Welcome to Slash Forward. In this episode, we're going to enjoy some rat rods and the unyielding horror of Mother Nature with the film The Giant Gila Monster. If you've ever wondered whether your home videos are worthy of a theatrical release, watch this video for encouragement and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to it. We open with a narration about the various bleak virgin wildernesses still extant around the world, which may allow for the proliferation of species of unlimited growth, such as the legendary Gila monster. These suspicions are confirmed when these two young perverts are knocked off a cliff. We then transition to a hep joint, where the hot rodders go to smoke marijuana cigarettes and dance until their undercarriages are ready to burst. They briefly discuss Pat and Liz, their missing friends, but clam up when Mr. Harris arrives, because Chase is more interested in trying to purchase his 32 Model A. The sheriff arrives at Mr. Wheeler's residence in response to the report of his missing son, Pat. Despite his lack of institutional authority, he commands the sheriff to spare no expense in the search. The sheriff then goes to see if Chase has any info that may be helpful, but they spend most of the time talking shop. And we forget whether this is a movie about cars or about giant monsters. The sheriff wraps up his investigation at Liz's house, the constant suspicion being that the two young skanks ran off to elope. But no one knows for sure. Chase's boss, Mr. Compton, comes back that evening, and the boys air their balls out while they work. Then Chase puts away the weekly nitroglycerin delivery very carefully. When a call comes in, he picks up a line patched into the sheriff, a technique he uses to be first on scene for any juicy towing and wreckage contracts. They find a Pontiac in a ditch with skid marks at a right angle and the interior drenched in blood. But these things happen, and as the wrecker blows past a lonely serial killer, the Gila monster prowls in and smashes his head like a grape. On the way back into town, they come across the briefcase, and as the monster lurks nearby, we see that they're lucky it's already lethargic from a belly full of human meat. The next day, the sheriff enlists the help of Chase's hot rod gang to help search for Pat, and the youngsters soon find themselves exploring a ravine in an untouched wilderness just outside of town. Chase and Lisa are nearly eaten, but are saved by his pals alerting them that they've found Pat's car, so they drive over and begin to winch it out and tow it back to the shop, under the watchful eye of the Gila monster. The sheriff meets them to discuss the evidence they may have seen at the scene before destroying it. At the same time, Mr. Compton is delivering a shipment of fuel oil when he's knocked off the road, treating the Gila monster to a cooked meal. Chase gets the call about this later. Then, like so much of the runtime of this film, he rides out to meet a character at one place and take them to another location. They arrive at the burning wreckage where Mr. Harris relays the account of another witness who was actually there and whose information he didn't get. The next day, as the boys are planning their big barn party, the Gila monster is slithering around town, derailing trains and mildly concerning Mr. Harris. The report prompts the sheriff to call over Chase so he can check out his book about reptiles that he knew he had for some reason. He floats the idea of a giant Gila monster terrorizing the countryside, as per the reports of the train survivors, but encourages Chase not to think on it too hard and go have some fun. Then the sheriff gets stressed down by Mr. Wheeler, who insists on his own authority the monster hypothesis is credible.
And I say it is possible for a giant lizard to have lived there for years without being seen.
Good enough for me. And they rush toward the barn party, where Chase is busy opening a rift in time and space through which his groupies are lining up to service his every sexual need. Unfortunately, his legendary set is interrupted when the monster peeks in for a closer look. The sheriff rolls up and unloads his shotgun into it, driving it off. He then goes for backup while Chase enacts his own plan. He grabs the nitro from storage, entrusting it to Lisa's gentle grip. Then he follows the path of destruction through town, depositing Lisa in a field to lay across a crippled girl who was left for dead. And then he guns it and bails out, ramming his car down the monster's gullet. And then we learn through the ending exposition that everything works out for everyone, except the dead folks. I bet this movie was real popular with the kids back in the day. In an obvious bid to make a popular movie based on things other than good filmmaking, they saturated their monster movie with car talk for the boys and unnecessary singing breaks for the ladies. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love for you to become a part of the channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching.